Hello, hello, hello. This is Robert Ferguson, your nutritionist. I want to say thank you for being here. If you are new to my shares, please know that I care. And if you have not visited us over at YouTube, please go over and subscribe to our channel. All you have to do is hit the button subscribe. And then if you hit that bell, then you will be notified for any updates that I provide. Now, I'm going to keep this short because it's mind-blowing to me. And it's mind-blowing because looking at the data, looking at the stats, and I realize that we live in a world where we're not getting healthier. Everyone continues to become more and more and more sick. And it's disgusting because there are things that we can do about it. Right? So I'm going to play a clip, and I want you to watch this clip, and then I'm going to share with you what I'm going to share with you. Now, this clip that you're going to see is a young Dr. Oz, or a younger Dr. Oz, and he actually does an interview the chairman of the American Heart Association, which you won't see in this clip, a guy named Gary Taubes, who I respect a lot of his work, and someone that I've spent some time with personally, Dean Ornish. They basically had a debate. I'm sharing more and more with you about this debate, but let me share with you this first clip, then I'll bring clarity to why I'm doing this live today.
Obesity is arguably the biggest health hazard in the Western world. Over half the people watching this program tonight are overweight. This epidemic affects 3 times more adults and children today than it did even 20 years ago. And obesity-related illnesses such as heart disease, diabetes, cancer now claim more than 300,000 lives a year. And the estimated $200 billion cost to the healthcare industry continues to rise, despite aggressive efforts to educate Americans about healthy diets. So what are we doing wrong? Obesity is arguably the biggest...
Sorry about that, you guys. I wanted to play that clip because 1970, in the 70s, 14% of people who lived in America, adult, were considered obese. Today, in 2022, over 40% of Americans are obese. Now, that doesn't count who's overweight. Now, it's predicted in the next 20 years that 50% plus of Americans will be obese. Now, at the moment, over 70% of Americans are either overweight or obese. And there are some stats that are saying that for the first time in history, we have more adults who are obese compared to overweight. Now, this is an epidemic, you guys. This is a pandemic. This is an all in it type of thing. This is for real. So something took place, or a seed was planted in the 50s. And then by the time the 70s came, we just see this constant increase of not just obesity, right? Because that brings in some vanity, but with people becoming more and more sick. I mean, I was looking at some data the other day, and in 1950, there's about 500 cardiologists. Today, 70 years later, there's well over 200,000. That is amazing, and that's alarming. So you want to ask yourself, okay, well, why is it that so many more people are becoming sick? Why do we see more people falling prey to cancer? Why is it that more people have these autoimmune, these pro-inflammatory like conditions that is affecting their quality of life? What is going on? You know, when about less than 10 years ago, I was doing work with Aetna Insurance, because the thing with most of the states at the time was let's reverse childhood obesity. Because we see not only an increase with obesity, we're seeing an increase in all counts of death. We're seeing more kids with asthma. We're seeing more kids with a lot of weight-related health conditions. And then out of nowhere, what happened? It just came to a halt. Before that, you had, Let's Move, which I was a small part of. Michelle Obama made it popular. Everybody was talking about moving, eating better. We see there's more health centers, more gyms than ever. There's more grocery stores than ever that are promoting better health and health. But yet we continue to get fatter and sicker. What is going on? It is not changing. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And if you don't hear me loud and clear, even if you don't want to do anything for others and you're not a coach and you're not trying to help people, help yourself. And there's no reason, especially if you hear my voice and you are aware of Diet Free Life, there is no reason for you to be battling. It's like this morning, I want to give a shout out to one of my clients, Melissa. Melissa hit her 40-pound benchmark today. I want to give another shout out to Cindy V in Indiana. She hit her 40-pound weight loss benchmark. And Cindy, I want to say thank you because you shared something with me that I want to share with everybody else. You and Melissa and all my clients, you grab the ball, you grab the bull by the horns, and you said, I'm going to do something about this. You got a coach, which I think there's nothing better than that. Now, not everybody needs a coach, but I see the power in having a coach for my business. I see how the people that I coach, as far as coaches with their business, the ones I talk to on a regular basis, they do better because I'm their business coach as well as their nutrition coach. I have a coach, and there's nothing better than it. And all the insurance companies now, they're running toward making health coaches available to their members, whether it's Medicaid, Medicare. That's big now. They're all just falling, but we've been doing this stuff forever, okay, for a really long time, and we've been successful with it. But what Cindy reminded me of, she said, Robert, I have to feed these birds or cats or something. She had to get this feed and she had to carry it upstairs, and the feed weighed 40 pounds. If you lose 40 pounds, grab a big bag of 40 pounds and walk upstairs. That's what used to be on your body. 40 pounds is 40. That's a lot of weight. Get a 40-pound bag of potatoes. Now, if you don't do something about this, then, hey, it only gets worse. We're saying it's getting worse, you guys. The healthcare system is going to run into a ton of problems. And the people in that business, the ones who are providing services framed around Medicare, Medicaid, health, they're going to do very well in business. If you're a health coach, if you're a nutritionist, if you are a coach with me, this is a great time for you to be in the business because you're going to have customers nonstop from right now to the end of our time on this earth. Seriously. And that's because no one is doing anything about it. Now you have a handful of Instagram models and people on TikTok and showing their cleavage and showing their bodies all the time. And I'm not beating them up because they feel like they got something and that becomes their money. That's how they make money. OnlyFans and all these things. So those people are going to starve. They're going to get cosmetic work. They're going to do whatever they can to look a certain way because that's how they make their money. But for the average person, we don't know what they're going through. I know what a lot of them are going through because some of them are my clients. They have guts that are disrupted. They have dysbiosis. They're challenged eating disorders. So it may look good on the outside, but it ain't good. So even though you may see some people looking good on the outside, this problem is growing. It has not turned around at all. It is getting worse. The more we talk about it, it's like nothing is changing. I mean, if I go on podcasts and I look at, a lot of people who have podcasts, and I'm going to go specific. Let's say I go to the African-American community, my community, the Black community, my people, the people I grew up with, right? People that I know, people who are real focused on issues framed around people that I look like or look like me. And they're not even talking about it. And we see an influx of health related problems in that community, as well as my Latino community, as well as every other community. It's happening, and nobody's doing anything about it. It's not even being talked about. The numbers are getting worse. And the people who want to talk about it, they end up having a heart attack. They get caught up in trying to live because they got cancer. And you don't get to hear how they would live life differently if they could. So then we just keep looking. We just keep looking for these magic pills. Let me just keep looking. Oh, I'm gonna take this supplement. I'm gonna take that supplement. I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna spend money on that. Unbelievable. And I say it's unbelievable, not because of everybody else. I'm saying it's unbelievable because that's the only word that I can think of, because it's so frustrating. And I know that life does not have to be lived that way for those of you who want to be healthier. Now, those who don't care about being healthier, or they think they have all the answers already, I'll talk to them later, because there's no way. Well, that's not true. There is a way, but it's not likely that they're eating and taking supplements in a way that's going to help them. It's more likely that what they're doing now is compounding. They don't know it because they don't see it, because they look in the mirror, and then it shows up later. Think about yourself. Think about every woman, man walking around in their 60s and 70s. At one point, they probably didn't have any concerns about their weight. And somewhere along the journey of life, it became an issue. That's not something that happens over a weekend, you guys. It's what happens through habits over time, compounds, and then shows up. Now, for those of you who exercise and work out, that really does help you. Even the ones who they're working out all the time, they may not look like they're in the best physical shape, but the thing that's keeping them on the straight and narrow when it comes to like quality of life and their best health is the fact that they exercise. So I don't know. I'm just blown away. So I'm gonna play this one more time, and I want you to listen to Dr. Oz. Everything he's talking about, the problem that we had in 2002, is way worse. It's like it's almost doubled since then. That's just 20 years. 20 years. And when you look at stats like that, you got to think, okay, if I go to my local grocery store and I just stand there, and the next 10 people that come in, 7 out of those 10 people will be overweight or obese. Now, I went to the grocery store this morning, and it looked like it was more like 8 or 9 out of 10 that's overweight or obese. And this is California, where people can walk year round, where health is promoted and people are eating fruits and nuts, and a lot of vegans, vegetarians, everybody's talking about it. There's a gym everywhere, same as there's a liquor store. What the hell is going on? If we don't take control of our own personal health, who is? Seriously, who is? It only gets worse, because then you're going to find yourself in the hospital, or you're going to find yourself sick. And in the back of your mind, you're going to be thinking, man, I wonder if I would be here or be dealing with this if I had eaten differently, or maybe was more active, or maybe mentally I had things in a better, healthier place. I don't know. But what I do know is that let's not put this off. If you need help, if it's me, I have other coaches. Let's go. Let's do this. Don't be like everybody else. You know what I mean? Make yourself a priority, because the rest of the world is not headed in a healthy direction. And if you look at the Nike commercials and posters, and you look at like the fitness magazines, there's a big movement where they're making being overweight or having excess body fat okay. And I hear that, because I don't want to fat shame anybody. It's not about that at all. It's about being healthy. And I don't judge a book by its cover. And what I mean by that is that if someone appears to be overweight or obese, having excess body fat, I'm not going to say that they're unhealthy. I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of people that are that have excess body fat, more than what we would consider healthy, but they're very healthy when you look at all the markers. I don't know. But I do know that if they're overweight and they currently are healthy, or they have excess body fat and they're currently have healthy markers, make sure you keep up that activity, because as soon as you stop, and we know this through many studies and many trials, then you become unhealthy really fast. So anyway, I don't know. I want to make this a way to inspire you. I don't want to make it like a Debbie Downer, because I don't believe anybody wants to be overweight or obese. I don't believe anyone is walking around celebrating that they don't feel really good. I believe that we all want to. We just don't know sometimes what's best, because there's so many different things out there. And what happens is most people end up going down a rabbit hole or choosing a program with the goal of being successful, but it actually sets them up to have more struggles. And that's where my heart, I plead, I scream with concern for the people who really want to be healthy, but they choose a method that is going to make life worse. Man, that part really bothers me. It really does. So anyway, thank you for making time for this. Watch this intro and seriously think about what they were talking about in 2002. I can show you footage in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s saying the same thing. But yet we keep getting worse. Wow. It's like Einstein said it. If you keep doing the same thing and you keep getting the same outcomes, that is a definition of insanity. I don't know who said this, but to paraphrase, because I'm in full agreement, I think most people would be, and that is, if we don't know history, we're doomed for it to repeat itself. That's the same thing that happens with losing weight. Do something different. Melissa decided, I'm going to have a coach. So she reached out and I'm her coach. She's doing something different. If she starts to stray and get off base a little bit, she knows she's got to make that call to me. And my job is to be there for her, to support any client, and then put them put them in a place where this week is going to be different. And then I'll have clients that'll start to stray a little bit and they'll gain 3-4 pounds, 7 pounds. I mean, I've had some that gain where I totally don't talk to them and they gain a significant amount of weight. But as soon as we start talking, it's amazing how the weight starts to come back off. They're doing the work. I'm just the coach to reinforce what they want to do. Same as a basketball team that has a coach. They're the players. They're going to make the plays. The coach is just there to make sure we have structure and to keep things in place so they can be successful. There's power in having a coach. Some people say, well, I don't need a coach. I'm stronger than that. Okay, go on with your bad self. Because Whitney Houston, one of the best vocalists of all time, she had a voice coach. Michael Jackson had a voice and a dance coach. Celine Dion has a voice coach. I mean, I think they're bad in a good way, but they're humble enough to see the benefit of having that coach in place. Again, here's my point, and I'll say bye. We keep saying the same thing when it comes to weight and health, and everything continues to get worse. I have my suspicion on why, and it's not just people are eating more. It's not that. I believe it has a lot to do with a lot of the things that I talk about on a regular basis. I don't think enemy number one is sugar. I've never thought that. And I have studies to support that more now than ever. I believe that is how we combine our foods or how we don't combine them. I believe that the vegetable and seed oil movement has contributed toward causing us to be more sick and to battle more and more with our weight. Definitely, those oils are contributing toward insulin resistance. We know recently through a big study through the University of North Carolina that 88% of adults are not metabolically fit. That was not the case 20 years ago. It wasn't the case 50 years ago. But it's taking over. We must become our own health advocate. If you don't, and you continue to put it off, I'll add you to my prayers. No one deserves to lose quality of life. If you're going to be around, let's make sure we have it. And the thing that's blocking most people from having it is ego. Because my favorite book says that my people perish for the lack of knowledge. If you are not informed when it comes to nutrition in the world that we live in today, then you are uninformed. And when you are uninformed, then you will be influenced, not always for the positive, most of the time for the negative. You will be influenced by those who may be misinformed. God bless you all. But I want to encourage you, take the ball and run with it. You will win. But you got to do something. Otherwise, it just gets worse. We don't want it to get worse. We want it to be better. So let's not be like the average of the population. And next year it goes up to 42.5% of the adult population being obese. Let's change it now. I'm Robert Ferguson. Thank you. And if you got questions, reach out to me. We're here to help you. And if you got additional ideas or you want to learn more, just go to dietfreelife.com.